Hi there. So I realized I've never done a step-by-step how I make my soft sculpture puppets. So this is part one of, I don't know how many parts because I haven't finished the puppet yet. She's over there. But this is just the part where I show how I sculpt a face from a pre-made head. You can use whatever head pattern you have and just use these tricks and tips and soft sculpt the puppets yourself. So it's sped up, so it's not actual speed. That's my dog. But so if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm not going to show how I do bodies just because that's a whole another video, and female bodies I like to keep to myself. You can figure out how to do them yourself. I say 2-inch foam. I'm rambling. Enjoy the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Alright, so now let's talk about noses. We already have our head sculpted, covered. Let's see if I can... Ooh, there we are. That's the head that we've been working on. She's already been sculpted, covered, all that fun stuff. Now to talk about noses. I have two puppets here that I've made, both with two completely different styles of nose. This one here is Sandy Jackson. She's one of my ventriloquist puppets. Her nose is simply a circle of fabric that was gathered, and I think it's either a polyfill or a piece of foam put in there, and then it's stitched onto her head. Nothing fancy, very simple. This is an opera singer puppet I'm working on. Her nose is a 2-inch piece of foam that I sculpted down, covered in fabric, and I sewed it to her head. But these are really great options for puppet making, but I want to do something a little easier. So this is the nose that we're going to be making. This is a 1/2-inch piece of foam that was pinched together, basically, to, excuse me, I'm hiccuping, to create this shape with a square of fleece. And hopefully we'll get something like that, which I actually don't mind the pink nose. Should I leave the pink nose? No, I'm not gonna leave the pink nose. But I'm gonna make something very similar, hopefully something smaller, because that's a little big for her face, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's late. I'm just gonna go ahead to the next video. Whoops. Now let's move on to noses. So you don't need a very big piece of foam. This is a 1/2-inch piece of foam. As you can see, it was originally our forehead piece that I cut out. It's the scraps from that. You just need a small rectangle and, well, two rectangles, we should say. 2 rectangles, one a little thinner than the other, one a little wider, and you'll see why. And then a little square of your antron. So I'm going to take those pieces, lay them all out on this board, and use spray adhesive. Just coat the fabric very evenly, and then attach the 2 pieces of foam that we cut out. Hopefully it makes sense in the end, because I've been doing this style of nose for a while. I learned it from my puppet director, John Cohen, of Virtuous Reality Puppet, Blacklight Theater, excuse me. But we do it a lot different than this, but hey, it's all the same. Spray it again with the spray adhesive, hit it with the blow dryer just so it dries it out, so it's a little more dried up tacky. Ooh, that sounds like some people I know, dried up tacky. You know what, this is not a call out podcast, this is a puppet making tutorial thingy. So we're gonna pinch everything together. If you didn't see that, then rewind it and pray that you can catch it now. I don't know. Cut off the excess material in the back and under the nose, the septum area. And then we're going to hand sew that. Now, I'm not the most amazing hand sewer. Oh yeah, we have to see if it looks good, which I think it does. I think this is the nose I went with, because I made like 3 noses. But that was loud. So now we're going to hand sew the nose. I did this on Instagram Live, which is why I'm actually showing you me threading a needle. You know, the most boring part of puppet making, threading needles. But I'm not an amazing sewer. I just do the best I can. So you're gonna see that here. So I'm doing a simple ladder stitch, which is just back and forward. Forward, what's the word? Back and forth? Back and forth. There we go. Get the camera angle right. Come on, work with me. I felt like this scene in children's movie. I don't want to use a name, just in case, lawsuits. I ain't got time for lawsuits. I'm trying to make puppets. But me adjusting the light felt like this, I just thought I would include this.
So, how long is this going to take?
What are you talking about?
Can't rush
Let the man do his work. There we go. Okay, so like I said, I'm using a ladder stitch. Back and forward. Back and forth. Lord have mercy. I really wish I could sew this fast. If I could, then it would be over. I would be the only puppet maker in the world. Unfortunately, I don't. So that's why I'm making YouTube videos about how to make puppets. Well, how I make puppets, not how to make puppets. What y'all doing? Y'all having fun? This is boring. Why y'all watching this? I'm boring. I just make puppets. All right. So now we're actually going to do some soft sculpture, which is very similar to what doll makers do. We're literally going to sew through the foam and the fabric just to create a nostril and, the little loopity-doop thingies. Nostrils. The heck, Langston? Yeah, we're making nostrils. Loopity-doop thingies. Ugh, like you don't know anatomy. And then we're just going to feed it through the head to the nose to the bridge of the nose to the other side, so we don't have to cut our thread. This is the same thread from when we sewed the septum of the nose, because it's such a long thread you don't need to cut it. So we want to sew the bridge on the other side, make sure that they're somewhat even. You know, they don't have to be exactly even, but, you know, close enough. Make a couple alterations, and then we can feed it through the foam, the back of the nose, cut it, and then seal it off with some hot glue. Then we have our nose. Now we're going to, you know, put it on the head, test it out, make sure we like, you know, how it looks. Yeah, this is the nose that I went with. I'm going to put a couple pins in just so I can actually handle it and the nose doesn't, you know, move. But there she is. I like it. I hope you like it. And that's part 1. So I'm moving on to part 2. Not this video, but the next video. I skipped a lot of the hand sewing because I thought that was boring. I also don't hand sew very well, so I skipped it because content. But I do show a little bit of me sewing the back of the body to the head, the neck, to the back of the body. There we go. I know how to use my words. So part 2, I think, is going to be more of the aesthetics of her. I love styling wigs and doing the makeup and all that fun stuff because that's when the character starts to come to life. So that's what part 2 is going to be. Part 3 is going to be, I think, putting the arms on, attaching the legs, and making the dress, and then showing the final puppet. So stay tuned. I'm happy you're watching my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. Share with your grandparents. Share with your enemies. Share with everyone. Because everyone needs a little more puppets. Everyone needs more puppets. I like that. And me. You're welcome. Bye. You ruined my outro. Thanks, dog.